This is maybe one of the more unhinged art lessons I've ever taught. Sometimes I'll purposely try to think of an artist who you wouldn't necessarily show to children. Almost as like an intellectual challenge to myself, I'll try to think of how I would make that into an age-appropriate art lesson for kids. So today I decided to challenge myself. Could I make an art lesson about Marilyn Minter for 5 and 6-year-olds that's one, age appropriate, and two, make sense to them while still tying in conceptually to the actual themes of the work. Marilyn Minter is a contemporary artist who makes these lush, seductive, hyper-realistic paintings. These close-up, hyper-realistic, glamorized paintings of bodies blur the lines between beauty and decay. I wanted to write a lesson for 5 and 6-year-olds. My first challenge is I need to find some paintings that would be appropriate to put up in a classroom of 5 and 6-year-olds, which immediately ruled out most of the paintings because they're hypersexual, but not all of them. Quickly, I was drawn to the close-ups of eyes that have glitter on them. The more I thought about that concept of blurring the lines between beauty and decay and how would I translate to a 5 or 6-year-old that idea, the more these images actually made perfect sense. Because isn't that exactly the relationship that 5 and 6-year-olds have with glitter? It's pretty, but it's messy and it's uncontrollable. And what kid hasn't played at some point with face paint or makeup? So we could look at these paintings and talk about how pretty things can also be messy, like glitter. The funny thing is that because glitter is so unruly, I had to spend many hours workshopping this project because there were so many pieces that we had to get the exact order of operations right for how to put the eyes together. Otherwise, the glitter would just completely take over the paper. Basically, the whites of the eye, the iris, the pupil, and the eyelid were all separate pieces. And the background was also a separate piece of paper with a window cut out of it. So the students used watercolor pencils to add color to the iris and to the eyelid. And then the students painted with glue on the background so they could completely cover it with glitter. Once that was done, we attached a full-size sheet of paper to the back and then assembled the eye on top of that in the little window. The really fun part was that at the very end, we took what glitter was left on the table and then mixed it into their glue cups. And the students used that glitter glue to paint onto the eyelid to give it like a little shimmery eyeshadow. And then they cut out some eyelashes and they used that glitter glue to glue on those eyelashes. This project was maybe crazy, definitely messy. I don't think anyone else is doing Marilyn Minter projects with their 5 and 6-year-old students, but honestly, 10 out of 10 would do this project again. I love their little art projects at the end, and also the look on their face when they found out that the Marilyn Minter paintings were paintings and not photographs. Their little jaws dropped. They were completely blown away. They loved them. So to my fellow art teachers, I don't know, maybe skip the Van Gogh Sunflower project this term, try a Marilyn Minter thing.